Was DK Metcalf justified for what he did, or was he out of line? Welcome to Underground Sports Talk. I'm Alex.
I'm Jordan, back in the lab.
Back in the lab. And today we're going to talk about something that I just am very intrigued by, is the interaction of DK Metcalf with a Detroit Lions fan with the blue hair. Now, I guess everybody's seen it by now. Everybody has seen what happened. Looks like DK Metcalf goes up to the fan, pulls the hair, and pulls the hair in an effort to get the face down to get a jab at the fan's face. Now, honestly, I don't know if the hair was real or not, or if it was a wig. It kind of looks like a wig. I don't know. What do you think?
It looks like a wig. It does, but it pulled like real hair.
It pulls like real hair. Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, look at this. Look at this video. Let me pull it up.
Pull it out.
Pull it up. All right. Get you a good viewing of her.
Yeah, let's see.
All right. So he's got the hair in his hand already, and just talking. Oh.
So you're supposed to pull the hair with one hand and then punch with the other.
Yeah. Everybody knows that. Everybody that's had to deal with the Lions fan in the past knows that. So
yeah, it's got to be a wig. Kind of looks like a wig. Nonetheless, whether it was aggravated assault, it was at least attempted.
Homicide?
Almost it could have been homicide. Good. Some athletes' bodies are lethal weapons.
If he would have connected, knocked him out, he fell off, landed on his neck, snapped his neck, bro. He could have been dead. Pretty simple, pretty close, bro.
Yeah, pretty close. So, I mean, first looking at that, like hearing that and seeing that live, I'm thinking like, because the commentators are talking about, well, yeah, that happened. DK didn't get thrown out the game. There's no flag or nothing. And later on, they said that it was because the refs didn't see anything. My theory is, and here I am, I'm just a YouTuber podcaster with a theory, but I think it might hold some weight. My theory is they're not gonna do something like that, like throw him out the game or throw a flag with a fan interaction. He's gonna be dealt with later on, which he is right now, because they don't want to give fans juice, thinking like, hey, if I keep acting up and getting these players' heads and do all this crap, I can affect the game. Look at me now. And then you have a billion fans out there trying to do the same thing, trying to agitate the players, and then it can go further than what it did. So I think it was handled well. And now he's got a 2-game suspension.
Yeah, 2 games. I didn't even think about it from that perspective, because I was like, yeah, if they saw it, I mean, that's crossing the line what he did. Obviously, here's the thing. It's always, everybody's going to look bad when the athlete's doing it. You have these giant, especially Metcalf. He's a monster, bro. And but the fans, those fans are saying some crazy things to him, and then the player gets in trouble. But it was crazy because it would have been crazier if he had a really good game too, but he didn't even. He had like 40 yards, 42, I think it was, in that game. But I think you're right. I think 2 games is perfect. I don't think 1 game would have been enough. I do think 2 games is perfect. And now the Steelers are without their one good receiver I guess they got Thielen out there. He had more yards than
did he?
Yeah, he had 49. So and DK had 42. But
Rodgers loves those wide receivers. Sure. Whenever he can he's like a Bill Belichick. Whenever he gets his hands on a white wide receiver, he's gonna go all in on that.
Well, like a couple people in the league that like him. Bill and Rodgers. Imagine if he would have went to the Patriots.
Right.
It would have been all white receivers.
It would have been a good American.
all white
all American football team. No, but regardless, not speaking of that, going off of that, so it looks like, like you said, he's suspended 2 games and he'll be out if the Steelers make the playoffs, which it's looking like they will after they did beat the Lions. He'll be back for that. Me personally, that's kind of my take on it. Is they don't want to give the fans more juice and more motivation to kind of like be heckling the players. But obviously, as a player, you got to keep your cool. Like, dude, literally, you have the greatest comeback ever. You're in the stands. I'm down here. That's all you got to say. Like, you do not have to get that agitated by stuff. I don't care what they say. They could say literally anything, anything. And he can
Yeah,
be dealt with in a different manner than that. But at the same time, sometimes people just don't know when to shut up until they get hit in the mouth. And
yeah,
and I don't mind that either for some people because some people deserve that.
yeah. The players got to understand that they have way more to lose than the this fan that is probably coming to his first Lions game, hyped up. He's super drunk, been drinking since 8 a.m. like drunk, just what I mean. Like, what is that fan gonna lose? He's gonna get kicked out of the game at most, maybe get banned from the stadium for a year or something like that. But as a as a player, you just got suspended for 2 games, 2 important games going into the playoffs, and that doesn't even account for the money loss. He probably is losing more in those 2 games than that fan is going to make their entire year. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
You can almost argue that the fan has more to gain in that
yeah,
situation because you got lawsuits, maybe
mhm.
some type of maybe DK will sign it on sign a jersey and send it over to him. I don't know. But real quick, I think before we make our closing statements on this situation here, I did want to go ahead and share like there's a new like fan kind of point of view of this. Have you
Oh,
seen that
really?
yet?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't seen. So,
All
like
right.
from the stands.
From the stands, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Let me pull it up here.
Hey, DK, don't sign it. DK, don't sign it.
Sign it.
DK. He about to throw that motherfucker away, dude.
Oh, sign it.
Man. You know that. Hey, DK. DK. Yup.
That was so excited. Yup.
Dude, I wish I could see the actual face, like the hair wasn't there. He's just like,
Yeah, for real.
So what it looks like to me and what it sounds like, he has a jersey in his hand. He's trying to get him to sign it.
Yeah.
The fan came out and said that he called him by his full name, his like government name.
What's his government name?
And some people don't like that apparently. Like I've had that before. Like, no, that's my government name. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like,
I think it's funny when they say that's their government name, bro. That's what
yeah.
your mom named
No,
you.
that's exactly. What do you mean your government name? It's Dekylan Zacharias Metcalf.
What was his first name?
Dekylan. I know someone named Dekylan. Yeah.
Kylan?
Dekalin. No, it looks like Dekalin.
Dekalin.
Yeah, Dekalin Zacharias Metcalf. So I don't know. There could be some type of history with that. The fan doesn't know. If that's the case, the fan doesn't know. And maybe he's just trying to get his attention because like he knows like maybe there's a bunch of people yelling DK, DK. And he's like, maybe this will get his attention. Then DK just lost his cool.
Don't ever call me by my government name. Uppercut.
Well, the thing is, though, is that DK came out to try to justify why he did what he did and said that he called him a racial slur, which, I mean, I feel like, and like, I hope no one takes this the wrong way, but like, I feel like that's been the go-to for like a lot of like getting into it fans. And sometimes it's true because there are pieces of shit out there that will say racial slurs to players, but I feel like that's kind of the go-to if you're trying to like get away and justify it. So in this situation, I don't think that happened after just seeing that video. I seen it like shortly and I wanted to save it for this video here to watch it, both of us watch it. And after seeing that, I feel like it's what was said originally. Like he called him by his government name, and he got pissed off because he was trying to get his attention. He was trying to get an autograph.
Yeah, I don't know, because we couldn't hear what the actual fan was saying. We're just hearing who was recording it. So he could have said something, but I mean, those fans, whether it's a racial slur, whether it's talking about their mom or wives or whatever they're talking about, you got to know you're a professional. That they're just trying to get in your head, and I don't think it's like when they're doing those things, I don't think it's out of hate for like an actual person or individual. They're just trying to get them riled up, trying to trying to just get some action out of it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like I said,
right.
he's trying to get a jersey signed, so he's trying to get his attention. Now who knows what they said? Lions fans, everybody knows. I mean, I don't know, man. I have plenty of times I've wanted to punch a Lions fan. So thank you, DK. Thank you.
Thanks for getting that out of the way. We'll take
yeah,
that
exactly.
Yeah.
Too bad you couldn't do that in Chicago. I have a few, but
yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, no, we'll do it.
But yeah, I mean, like we said, it's not worth getting worked up over no matter what it is. They're in the stands. Literally any reaction out of you is gonna make that person's day. Even a damn near punch is like, damn, we got punched by DK Metcalf. So it's like, why
the side that's hanging out? DK Metcalf did that, man.
I mean, I was like a teenager when I went to Packers. Patriots at Packers. I was like 2014, and I remember I was close to the end zone. So whenever Brady was near the red zone, I would just yell out. When it was quiet as the most it was, I would just yell, "Brady, fuck!" And then he would end up having like a bad play. So I like considered myself a big part of that game, even though I probably wasn't at all. Right. But you don't expect Brady to come up there and be like, "No, you suck. You suck." Like, bro, literally the NFL quarterback playing the game. I'm a fan in the stands. Like, I know my part, and I'm just saying whatever.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think this is the biggest thing here, and I've heard some athletes say there's some athletes that I think understand it, but the fans literally are the ones writing your checks. So if the fans aren't in there heckling, being crazy, doing all the stuff, they love this team. They're doing, and yes, they cross the line for sure. But that is what makes you your millions. So, just think about it, in a lesser extent, what we do. We're roofers, we go door to door, people are yelling at us, calling us storm chasers and stuff like that. It's kind of the same thing. You gotta brush it off and be like, yeah, those idiots just don't know, you know what I mean? So I think it's the same thing, obviously more magnitude. I'm sure he's dealing with a bunch of stuff outside of just that one fan, you know what I mean? And maybe it's weeks and weeks of the same stuff. Probably can get on you. I wouldn't know. I was too good for the NFL. They didn't let me get in, but it is what it is. So put me on the tube. But
no, I agree, man. I guess to close it out, I think that the game of football, there's a lot of emotions involved. When you're a fan, a player, I feel like there's just the same amount of emotion on both ends. Yeah. So when you clash or there's something going on during a game, I don't think anything's ever really personal. But still, the emotion that's flowing through you throughout the game with the competitiveness going on, like, people tend to overreact. Crazy things happen because there's a lot of emotion involved. So I don't really fault really anyone right now, but as a professional, I guess DK, you gotta keep it cool, man.
Yeah, I think shout out to the NFL. I think they did it right. I think you're 110% right with what you were saying, that they can't just throw them out of that game because that gives the fans power. But you can't just have your guys out there trying to punch fans. You know what I mean? You can't have that either. And I think by I think it's something that DK will learn from, because of 2-game suspension, that's a lot. The NFL doesn't hand out suspensions, often. I feel like as other sports leagues, I think they're pretty good on, on that, and just with the ejections and stuff like that for on-field stuff. So I think everybody got it right.
All right, well, to end it off, shout out to the Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers for beating the Lions, helping the Green Bay Packers get into the playoffs. We're not in yet, but we're very, very close. So we'll save that for another video. But for now, this is Underground Sports Talk. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.